Do not fret, everyone. I have not died yet. I have just been going through a lot of stuff throughout the past couple of months, and now I'm back living with my parents. Why am I back living with my parents? What exactly happened during those 2 months? Before I explain all that, I have to take you back to November of 2021, where my car was totaled. Unfortunately, the car wasn't fully insured, and unfortunately, I just bought it that year. So I had to buy yet another car out of pocket. I bought a little 2002 Volkswagen Beetle. It had a manual shift in it, which I liked. But that's about it, because about a couple months later, I'm noticing the car is having to take a couple times before it actually turns on. Basically, what it would do is it would start up, turn over, and then just immediately die. Like, just not turned on at all, just off. I was thinking, maybe I'm not holding down the clutch hard enough. But either way, I didn't think much of it. And oh my gosh, I was wrong. With the regional, back in April, it took a couple times in order to get the start in Denver, and I live an hour away from Denver, so it was a little spooky, because also considering that I had passengers in my car, so it was a little sketch. I legitimately thought that I was going to be stuck in Denver with my friends, and we'd have to find some other way to get back home, and I would have to take my car to a shop in Denver, and thankfully that didn't happen. Fortunately, the car did eventually turn on, and I was able to get everyone home. A week later, after a long day of work, the car does not start. No matter what I do, the car just does not start. It turns on, turns over, and then immediately dies. So the car is just dead. And we tried popping the clutch, we tried a few different things, and it just does not want to turn on at all. It's just... So my car is just stuck there. And I woke up in the mountain. My bosses let me keep my car up there until a mobile mechanic was able to look at it 3 days later. I just had to get a ride pretty much every single day until the mechanic was able to look at it. And then it took a couple more days for him to actually fix it. So I was there on my day off, by the way, while he was fixing it. It takes like a couple hours for him to fix it, maybe an hour. I don't quite remember. He texts me when he's done, and I come down. He hands me the key and tells me to turn the car on. I turn the car on and does the exact same thing. The exact same thing while he's there. He does a couple more things to it while I'm in the car, and it decides to turn on. He tells me, if that happens again, let me know. And paid him $600, and he was on his way. A week later, it happens again, and I'm like, you know what? We're going to call him, see if he can come out again. It doesn't die up out of my work again. It just starts doing the same exact thing. But I'm able to get it to start, at least. He looks at it while I'm at a local tournament, so I have to give my opponent the win, pretty much, so that the mechanic can look at my car. He can't find anything wrong with it. He's like, yeah, I'm not getting any codes. Can't go wrong with the tune-up. Yeah, sure. That's exactly what the problem is. I'm sure of it. I politely decline the tune-up because I know better than that. I know better. I know better. And while I'm dealing with all this car stuff, I'm being told that the landlord is moving to Florida. And the landlord is Cameron's dad. And Cameron was just going to go live in the house that his parents were in. And the house I was living in was being sold. So I had to find a place to stay and move out by June 30th. And what I'm noticing while I'm dealing with that is the car only turns on consistently if I'm turning the key one specific way. Like, if I have it one way, it just won't turn on. If I have it the other way, it turns on. So I start thinking that maybe it's just the key that's the issue. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, pretty much, that I can just deal with the car later, after I'm done with all this moving stuff. A month of that goes by. We're in June at this point, and I still haven't found a place to stay. I'm looking high and low, trying to stretch out my budget a little bit, and I find a place. I go to the house, check it out, think, you know what, I meet the landlord and one of the tenants there. And I'm thinking, alright, this might be nice. And I signed the lease a couple days later. And at this point, not all the tenants had moved in yet. So, I haven't met all of them. So, they were complete strangers. I didn't know them at all. Basically, I found the place through Facebook, shot the landlord a message, and went from there. And at this place, there would be a total of 5 people living there. And the lease would basically start in July. June 30th is when it was starting. So same day that I had to be out of the other house. And you might be asking, if you had another place lined up already, why are you back with your parents? We're getting to that. A couple days later, after checking out the house, my car dies yet again at work. The same exact issue. The same exact issue. Turns on for like a second, turns over, and then dies immediately. So, I thought, you know what? We're gonna get a tow and take it to a shop. Not a mobile mechanic, just take it to a shop. So that they can look at it. It'll be within the city, at least. So, I get it to the shop, and they tell me that the key is no longer being recognized by the security system, and I had to get the key replaced. So, we get the dealership involved, and they give me a quote. Not like I have much of a choice in the matter. So, we get the part ordered, and we get the key replaced. That took 2 weeks. 2 weeks for me to take the car to the shop when they were available, for them to tell me that the key was bad, and for the dealership to replace the key. 2 weeks. Anyways, got the key fixed, and immediately when I turned the car on, the check engine light and the ECP light, I think that's what it's called? Yeah, EPC light. Both of those lights were on. And I was thinking, maybe after 20 or 100 or 200 miles, those lights would turn off because of the car maybe getting used to the new key. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully. That's not what happened, unfortunately. During the final week of packing, I had to get all my stuff into the garage for this photographer who was going to take a bunch of photos of the room so that it could go up on sale. And I tried to move my car, and it's your boy, car problems, back at it again. Does the exact same thing. The exact same thing happens. Turns on, turns over, and it just doesn't. Not even a week later. Not even a week later after we took it to the dealership to get the key replaced. And it's 2 days before I have to be out of the house. And it was so late during the night that I couldn't even call a coworker to be like, hey, can you take me to work tomorrow? It was that late. And I had to call it to work, which actually kind of worked out because that wasn't getting done that night. So it worked out. That day that I called off, I went to the bank to talk about getting a loan and buy a new car. Not a new car, just another used car. Something a little bit later, not 2002. Basically, I decided enough was enough, and I was just going to get rid of it. And while I was at the house for the rest of the day, twiddling my thumbs, I made this video.
See this motherfucking bug? See this bug? Fuck this bug.
The next day, day of the move, my coworker brings his truck and so that we can move to the new house. And as we're unloading the truck, first load at least, my new roommate comes to give me the key to the house, and he tells me, "You're probably not going to see me very much because I tested positive at my work, and I have to quarantine for the next week." So, and he wasn't wearing a mask. So I got exposed to that. So I wore a mask for the next week pretty much, and I took a test 3 days later, and I tested negative. Me and my coworker finished moving my stuff, and I have him drop me off at the bank so that I can finish this loan paperwork so I can buy a car. Though while that's happening, the car they got the loan for ended up being sold. And what this loan was, it was a consolidation loan between getting a new car and my credit card, because I sure didn't have any money to pay for the Beetle getting fixed and it just dying again and again and again. So the loan was going to be $200 a month for the next 4 years pretty much. And like I said, the car that I was buying got sold, so I had to find another place that was kind of within the same price range of what I was looking at. And I did. I found another car within that price range. Unfortunately, the loan didn't go all the way through yet, so I had put a down payment on my credit card, and they gave me a loaner car until the loan went through the next day, and I bought the car. And the dealership gave me a couple $100 for the Beetle, which we had to get towed that night because it couldn't stay there. So, good riddance. Good riddance to that stupid bug. Like, I just don't know what was wrong with it. Don't care at this point. Fuck the bug. I got a better car now. I like it. I don't hate it. It turns on. Like, my coworkers ask me, "How's the new car?" I tell them, it turns on. Imagine that. A car that turns on. I met a couple more of my roommates, and I get a feeling that they might be kind of toxic. All of them might be kind of toxic. And I get this feeling a lot with people where I'll think either A, they're going to be really toxic for me, or B, they'll be good friends with me. I'll be good friends with them, or at least friends with them. And that's exactly what happened, was I just thought they were going to be really toxic for me. But there have been times where I've been wrong. Definitely times where I've been wrong. There was an opportunity for me to hang out with them, kind of get to know them. And I did that. Because, hey, again, maybe I could be wrong. And that's not what happened. As they're talking, I realized that problems would definitely arise, just from how different of people we are. So the situation was toxic for me, in particular. That's not to say that they are bad people. It's just that type of situation was going to be toxic for me. I've heard this saying before, and I'm going to paraphrase badly here. Think carefully and cut quickly. Something like that. Something along those lines. And that's exactly what I did. I looked at the situation, decided this is not good for me, and I cut it. And I decided it would be better for me, as the situation was kind of developing. I had lived with him for about 3 weeks, and I made the decision to just move back with my parents. Because I think that would have been a lot healthier for me in the long run. One of them asks me if it was because of them. Technically yes, technically no. But I don't tell them that. I tell them it's personal. I say that purely because I didn't want conflict. Why create conflict when we're going out the door? There were a few other reasons why I came to this decision, but I don't want them out on the internet at the moment. And I could have been completely wrong. Like, if I would have waited out, I may have discovered that I was totally wrong. Maybe. Perhaps. But I know better than that. I know better than to wait in a situation that I don't like to make a decision. Just, if you know that the situation is going to be bad, chances are it's not going to improve. And I've done this several times before where I will just wait out the situation that I don't like, and it just gets worse. So I know myself better than that. I know how things go in that regard. And yeah, I made a decision. So I'm stuck here basically for the next 3 months minimum. 3 months. I say that so I could just recuperate from everything that happened within the last couple of months a little bit. I'll be living in the basement for a while. So at this point, things should be calming down enough for me to just focus on YouTube again. And to end the video on a much brighter note, this is where I would normally say, my name is Brent, and I am maxed out weird. But another thing has happened. And I've been pondering this for years upon years upon years. And I don't like my name. I've always hated the name Brent. I just never felt like it suited me as a person. And I just could never really identify with it. And I hated it. I just never felt like a Brent. And I've been pondering about it for years, to just go by another name. And I decided, you know what? Let's do it. Let's go by a different name. So what I've changed my name to, not legally yet, but what I'm going now by is Vincent. That's what we're going to call myself. Vincent. To me, that sounds a little bit more natural to me. And I think it suits me a little bit better than Brent. And honestly, I've been going through a transformation throughout the last 10 years I've been here. And I think that's kind of a fitting end to this transformation, is just changing my name. And with more name changes still, I'm going to be changing my channel name here soon. The question is to what? I really don't know yet. But it'll be happening within the next couple months, maybe? Possibly? Perhaps? Anyways. My name is Vincent, and for now, I am maxed out weird. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.